Warning, the following episode of the Sober Curator is brought to you by unfiltered opinions, passionate TV fandom, and just a touch too much honesty. As part of our ongoing recovery, we're learning how to review a TV show without giving away the entire plot. But today is not that day. We spoil, we spiral, we deep dive into the dysfunctional deliciousness that is the better sister, and we do not hold back. So if you haven't watched the show yet, hit pause, grab a mocktail, and come back once you've binged every scandalous second. Because recovery teaches us progress, not perfection. And apparently, that applies to spoiler control too. You've been warned. Now, on with the chaos.
Welcome to the Sober Curator podcast, where sobriety isn't just a lifestyle choice, it's the ultimate life hack. I'm Alysse Bryson, your fearless guide to a world where hangovers are canceled, fun is mandatory, and we still know how to shut down a dance floor, just with better shoes.
And I'm Tamara Routley, aka T-Bouge, your co-pilot, chaos coordinator, and the one who keeps Alysse from turning this podcast into a full-blown reality show. Buckle up, sober party people.
From lifestyle and travel to pop culture and zero-proof cocktails, we're serving up the stories, trends, and guests that prove sobriety isn't just about what you're missing. It's about finally remembering where you left your keys. Let's get the party started. Welcome back to another episode of the Sober Curator, where we're proving to you on the daily that we are sober, not boring. Today's episode is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be less about our journey and more about, let's just talk about what happened in the wild scenes on The Better Sister. That's right. We are going to be talking about The Better Sister today. It's a drama thriller that dives deep into secrets, sisterhood, and substance abuse. And we are here for all of those things. But before I jump into this episode and a bigger description of the show, let's talk about the contributors that have shown up for this Mindful Binge episode discussion. We have Dr. Sarah coming in from Boston, the middle of nowhere Boston, outside in the woods in some cabin. Dr. Sarah, we're so glad you're here.
Happy to be here. Can't wait to discuss this dysfunction. I'm so happy.
Yes, and I will say Dr. Sarah is an expert at dysfunction, probably because she's lived it herself, but also because she specializes in codependency. And so she is always the backbone of our reviews when we deep dive into family drama. And it just wouldn't be the same without you here, Dr. Sarah. So we're so glad you're here. Next up, we have Megan Swan, our resident wellness coach. And she is also Canadian, which means just like T-Bouge, she is on the nicer side when it comes to reviews. But I also find, Megan, that you don't hold back when you need to pack a punch.
It's true. It's true. I'm selective, but yes.
Yeah. And the good news is for this review, Megan has actually watched every episode. Sometimes in past conversations, she just jumps in because she has FOMO, reads the cliff notes, and then jumps in, but she's actually watched the show. So we're really grateful that you're here and that you've actually watched the show. And then last but not least is Amy Liz Harrison. She's coming in from the future. She's zooming in from the land down under. That's why she looks so fresh, as she's literally recording from the future. She's also my local Seattle ride or die. I don't really like to go anywhere without Amy on my hip. Amy, we're so glad you're here.
Thanks for having me.
She's making heart hands because she isn't at home to raise her disco balls. And then, of course, no episode would be complete without my sidekick, my disco ball queen, T-Bouge, also known as Tamara Routley, but her friends call her T-Bouge. She is the producer of the show. She keeps the train on the tracks. She keeps trying to hold me back from making it a reality TV show, but so far, I'm winning. And that is the panel you have in front of you today as we break down The Better Sister. Now, let me just tell you a little bit about The Better Sister before we jump into the conversation, because I know everyone is chomping at the bit. Just as the East Coast elite is dusting off their linen pants and oversized sunglasses for another Hampton summer, Amazon Prime has dropped a thriller that's going to keep you glued to the couch, no matter how perfect the weather is outside. The Better Sister, based on Alafair Burke, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, domestic noir novel, invites us into the sparkling, scandalous world of Manhattan's power players and the dark, tangled roots that they try so hard to hide. And I love any show or movie that has a magazine as part of the professional backdrop. Being that I ran a magazine for nearly a decade, it brings me a lot of joy. And the fact that it's Jessica Biel playing the role of Chloe Taylor, the one who's the glossy magazine executive who seems to have it all, perfect hair, perfect body. I am here for her all day. And spoiler alert, which you learn in the first episode, so this isn't really a spoiler alert. The whole story is kind of over the fact that her husband, Adam, played by Corey Stoll, is found dead in their Hamptons home. Okay. So in a minute, we're going to start talking about the white dress and her muscular backside. But before we get into that, I just kind of want to line up the rest of the show. Chloe has an estranged sister, Nikki, who is played by Elizabeth Banks. I love Elizabeth Banks so much. She is our character queen in this series because she is the woman who's battled addiction and messy relationships. And she also happens to be the biological mother of Chloe's teenage stepson, Ethan, who's played by Maxwell Donovan. And oh yeah, spoiler alert. This one might actually be a spoiler alert. So if you haven't seen the show and you don't want to know, just put pause and go watch it now.
Quite a few already.
I know. Ethan's now the prime suspect in his father's murder. Okay. So this show hits the classic whodunit. It's got glamorous settings between Manhattan and the Hamptons. It's got high stakes secrets. It's got fashion. It's got crime. It's got sister drama, which, has the older sister who likes to be the better sister. I am here for this show. It's meditation. It's family. It's addiction. It's blurry. It's decent representation of AA. I'm just here for all of it, but mostly I'm here for you guys. And Dr. Sarah, I think since you did the deep dive on the white dress that Jessica Biel was wearing in essentially the first scenes, I think you should jump in and kick us off.
Well, are we going to discuss the white dress or should we talk about the white dress? I mean, the beginning, that dress, I just wanted immediately. I don't know how everybody else felt, but I love a backless dress.
You could pull that. You could pull that dress off. Absolutely, you could.
Well, when you have big breasts, it's harder.
Well, now you're just showing.
No, because really, I'm not kidding. Because I thought that I was like, when you're trying to hold up big breasts with those little, sticky things, it's brutal. Yeah. So, anyways, but
I was actually surprised because a lot of times with Amazon shows, they will have you can shop Amazon for the collection of the looks.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's pretty normal.
I'm glad I don't know that, but yeah.
I did not see the white dress on Amazon Prime. I might have missed it, but so you
I feel like it's a Temu.
Yeah. No, anti-Temu. We're anti-Temu here. Okay, but so Dr. Sarah, what did you learn in the Googling rabbit hole of the white dress? How much was it? What was the designer?
I wish that I saved who the designer was, but it definitely was. I can't remember. I know it was over $1,000. I think it was closer to $1,500. Mm-hmm. And I literally had a moment, and I can't afford a dress like that, trying to rationalize somehow. But I can't. I mean, I get my t-shirts at Target. I just can't spend money on t-shirts. And so anyways, yeah, I'm not a big clothes shopper, but that dress was epic. Epic. Mm-hmm. I mean, come on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're invited on Oprah, I think you should get it.
Maybe if I get on Oprah, I might get that dress, but that's probably not.
Or the Mel Robbins podcast. I think that's probably in your future.
There we go.
Oh my God.
For those of you that are not totally drinking the Sober Curator Kool-Aid, Dr. Sarah has written a review on Mel Robbins' Let Them a air quotes theory. None of us believe it's a theory. So she's written a review and it got a lot of hot debate. We had a reply all email that became unhinged in the group. And so we have since recorded an episode about it, which will air. I don't know. Tomorrow, is it airing before this, after this? I have no idea, but we'll link them all together. Or, you should just be checking the Sober Curator every day and then you won't have FOMO.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it'll already have aired by the time this one is. So
yeah.
Back
go
to
back.
the future. Back in
Back
time.
to the future, like Amy. Just like Amy.
dive back into the past and just let them.
Okay. Well, I'm going to let Jessica Biel do whatever she wants in that dress. Okay.
Yep.
I'm going to let that happen.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was so activated by her character when we get there.
We can get there. Where do you want to go next? I just wanted to start with the white dress, but I feel we've covered it. Okay, go. You have thoughts.
I mean, okay, so just if you're going to look at dynamics, she's Coco. I mean, she is the co-crazy, but she's also like, there's so many lines she says, like, there's a certain line when she's talking to her sister, the alcoholic, where she says, well, she doesn't say it quite like this, but she says something like, but I wasn't affected. Like she's saying basically that the sister, the alcoholic, is like holding all the family trauma. Meanwhile, she's like, to me, eating disordered, perfectionism, total effing control freak, workaholic. I mean, I have a long list about her. I mean, she's so activating to me. She's so like controlled, like a tight drum, and such denial. Oh my God, denial always activates me. So that's my just initial take on her. I don't know. Other people might have loved that character, but for me, like that kind of presentation of someone that's just oblivious and yet acts like they're not is totally.
And I'm still stuck on the label Coco. I need to just.
Sorry.
I'm here. Like, should we add that to the glossary? Because I'm here for labeling people Coco.
She's got her own codependency, but mainly it's because she grew up in alcoholism. She has flaming codependence with her father. She was in denial that her father is even, got problems. Meanwhile, he's molesting the sister. I mean, there's so many things going on here. And the mother was another example of complete codependent, co-crazy person, like total denial. I mean, you need to be nice to your sister as she's like dying with alcoholism. Anyways. Yeah. So all the people that are enabling other people always get me. So yeah, take it from there.
Okay. Well, if you haven't picked up on it yet, this episode is nothing but spoilers. It's basically nothing but spoilers. We're going to ruin it all. So you should really probably only be listening to this episode if you've already watched the show and you're as heated and hot about it as we is. No, I'm here for it all day long. But where I want to go next is Megan was, while you were talking, Dr. Sarah, for our listeners that are listening and not watching, again, this is why you should be watching on YouTube or Spotify. Megan was shaking her fists in the air about the mother. So Megan, over to you.
Okay. Please.
Yeah. I mean, really, all the parental characters were just such classic in denial. Like the whole problem with that generation is in every single one of those characters. And so,
you mean like boomers?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Since we're labeling Cocos and boomers, I just wanted to like go all the way in on the labels.
To be fair, I feel like they're kind of between my parents and my parents' parents in terms of like the silence on massive family issues,
right?
Sweeping things under the carpet, and then you of course later get a little bit more context on why she's protecting and I wanted to put this out there. Who's the better sister? That's like the whole time I'm watching it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh.
I think that's at the backbone of the argument, right? Because you would make the assumption it was the pretty, shiny, put together one.
Oh,
but
not at all.
It's usually the train wreck. It's usually the train wreck that's bringing it in.
I love a train wreck.
Me too. And that's what I think is so phenomenal about the show
Right.
is how they set it up and the progression of it and the feelings you get towards each of the sisters. And at the end, I think it's kind of like, holy smokes. Right. Because in the beginning, it's pretty like, oh, she's such a deadbeat. She's a drug addict, blah, 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 but as you start to, the story unfolds and there's some times where it gets pretty intense.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, maybe we have an easier time being a little bit more empathetic to her situation because as you start to find out what actually happened in her life, and I don't, trust me when I say in the beginning, I'm not like, what a deadbeat, because that was me, 15 years ago. But it's like they do such a good job at slowly revealing a little bit more where you're just like, wow, no wonder why she did this. So I think the character development was phenomenal in this.
Yes.
Yeah. It was like a slow drip on humanizing.
Yes.
Yes. I would agree with that. There was, I don't remember which episode it was, but it was towards the beginning-ish when Elizabeth Banks' character has, entered the scene and the sisters are in a debate about whatever. And Jessica Biel is like, it's always recovery porn with you people.
Oh.
And I was like, no, she didn't. And then I was like, oh, I bet people have thought that about me.
Yeah.
Like,
yep.
Yeah.
So
Because I forget, and we just talked about this earlier
about
this
all
week.
of us, for sure.
Yeah, we just talked about this earlier this week, T-Bouge. It's like, I forget people in recovery, we tend to not have any filter. We tend to go deep fast with literally anyone that will listen. And I forget that most people in the world, A, are not doing the kind of like heavy lifting work that we tend to do on ourselves. And B, they're definitely not megaphoning it for all the world to hear. Right. So I forget that because it's become like breathing, but like a lot of people, they don't have the talks that those of us on a recovery journey or a sobriety journey that we have. And Amy, where I kind of want to go next is to you and kind of take the recovery porn, which still kind of, it was a beautiful line, like well written to the show. But Amy, where I would like to spin this next is because I know that you also identify as being 12-step, as some of us on this panel do. How did you feel about the representation of how AA was depicted in this series? Because series, they don't always get it right. It's usually goes a little stereotypical to what I know we've personally experienced, but I don't think they got it totally wrong either. So I'd be interested to hear what you think about it.
I think.
Oh, you didn't like it.
I think for me,
you didn't like it.
I don't know. I think, and maybe this is the old schoolness of me coming out a little bit, and I need to look at that. But I think that I get a little bit like, that's not how it is. And I'm naturally critical when I see AA meetings, for example, depicted in movies or other 12-step lingo being dropped or whatever. And I just think, it's more than people meeting in a room with coffee cups, just trying to struggle through life. And I feel like that is how it's stereotypically depicted. And this isn't really an answer to that question, so I do apologize, but I did want to quickly rewind to when you guys were talking about the family dynamics. I just wanted to say that the whole thing made me think about one of those Fisher Price toys that is like the bar, and there's a dial and a lever and a switch, and like the little toy will pop up and then the kid will slam it down. And then over here, there's a dial, and then this character pops up and then you can slam it down. And I just kept thinking about how accurate that is to me, that whole idea of like, well, I'm doing well over here. It's that person's fault. Let's just point at that person and their hula hoop and see how they're messing everything up in 75 ways. But the refusal to look in the mirror, that whole concept. So that doesn't really answer your question specifically, but I do have a natural tendency to be kind of critical, which I'm working on when I see AA meetings or 12-step meetings in general in movies.
Are you working on
And
being
shows.
more critical? Because I am. I'm working on being more critical and more judgmental.
I'm trying to
And
be
so
less
far,
critical.
I am excelling. I think most of the time they get it wrong, and it's not totally wrong because there's a million different types of meetings and groups out there, and you can go to one and have a wildly different experience than another one. But for those of us that tend to do this for a long time, right? We tend to be a little bit more solution based. And so we tend to go to those types of meetings where we don't see the stereotypical BS that we see. But there was one part when she's out in the parking lot, which is where we know the magic happens. I think maybe she's smoking a cigarette with the booty boy or the soon to be booty call boy. And he's calling her on something about step work. And she's like, I'm not anywhere close to the step work. And I was like, oh, thank God. Honesty, right? Like honesty.
Yeah, good point. Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it was the best representation of the 12-step community? No. But I think they do a better job than most.
And I think part of the reason why those of us who have really embraced it and done the work want to shout it from the rooftops and we share everything is because we've had the benefits of what it's like to be around people who actually want to create a better life. And I think that is the parts that they don't show in the movies that I wish they would, is that I know that I have attended meetings with people who are millionaires now, who have their own businesses. Like they don't share that a lot. And they should, because I think that, people in this show, for example, the characters like Chloe, I'm sure there's several reasons she could be in one of the fellowships kind of thing. But because we all could. And I wish they would have done a better job at that. But I do like how it was like it portrayed her life as a shit show, because it was. I mean, every time something came out of her mouth, especially at the beginning, I was like, oh my God, she's going to screw everything up. Right. And that's kind of how we are in the beginning, But yeah, that's kind of I wish they would have portrayed it a little bit more realistic than just the typical, we're sitting around a circle and all completely depressed, because that's usually not how people stay sober.
I'm curious, like, how realistic is it that, because it's often depicted that these romance situations blossom out of these meetings. Is that realistic?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a real thing. Yeah. That's
my favorite character.
Yeah. That. Yeah.
13 step right there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, Dr. Sarah, you know what that's about.
She knows because she's a sober cougar. For those of you that haven't been following along, we love to talk about the fact that Dr. Sarah has 8 million years sober and she's dating a guy with 2 years. Like, we love to talk about that.
Oh,
please stop.
Did I ever tell you? All right, this is very brief, but it might be funny for people to hear. So when I was at a woman's meeting, I was like 6 months sober. And so the woman, I was really into it. This woman starts sharing and she says, there's someone in this meeting that's sleeping with my boyfriend. And I was like, what? I mean, of course, we're all incensed, right? And I'm like up on my, my knees like this. And we're all like, what? And of course, what happens eventually, she points right at me and asks me to go outside. And I'm like, Mike, this guy saw me at my 90-day ship, comes up to me and asks me out. I don't know he's been with this woman for 2 years. Oh my God. I'm telling you, talk about hilarious. I go outside with this woman. I'm 6 months sober. And I said, look, why are you blaming me? Your boyfriend is the one that's screwing around. Anyways, that was a total aside. I'm sorry, but that's AA, Megan. That's AA. Yeah.
Got it.
What? Okay, but let's
early on.
Since we're talking about hot romance, let's talk about the scene. And again, more spoiler alerts. So if you're still listening, this is so on you at this point. But when they're you're Coco, right? You're Coco. So when they're at the wake and Elizabeth Banks is like, she's on the struggle bus and she throws away her 5 years of sobriety for a martini, which I totally could get. And then the next thing you know, she's banging the cater waiter in his van in the parking lot. Like, yeah, that's definitely what we do.
Yeah.
Like that's
No
definitely
doubt.
what we do.
Crazy
No doubt.
multiplies. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Appreciated the Latin lover. I didn't quite see that one coming. And then, they were so
Right.
dysfunctional too. But I kind of
Mhm.
enjoyed their relationship
Yeah.
being very transactional.
I
It's a
think
fun
that
dysfunction.
Yeah.
either the people that wrote the writers of the show and or Elizabeth Banks, like they did a good job at doing their research on the community.
Yes.
You can, I feel like whether we like how they portrayed it or not, you
Yeah.
can usually tell if they do their due diligence and research on how people move throughout this community and how they don't. And while there are still, a certain number of stereotypical boxes that got checked, I feel like there's people that have lived experience that contributed to this show in some way, shape, or other, whether it was themselves, whether it was somebody in their life. Like there was lived experience that was translated through the script, I think.
Well, because how,
Yes.
often do we as women find someone in recovery that we're like, ooh, they're sober too. And we ask, it starts off with, can you give me some advice? Can you help me? And then I can't believe that happened, but we ended up hooking up, right? We kind of do that kind of thing. So that part of it was very, like, you could see as soon as she went into that men's meeting, you're like, oh, they're going to hook up.
Right.
Like instantly.
Around 3 or 4 years sober, I started going to a meeting, which has been my home group for on and off for like a decade plus. And while it wasn't a men's meeting, there were hardly any women at it. And so I was like, this is the meeting for me. It's like shooting
It's a
fish in a
sausage fest.
fishbowl. Yeah, easy pickings.
Well, now that I got married, I have picked it based on the food they have. And there's cookies in my meeting every week. So I'm like, cookies, I'm in.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. My group started doing for cake, which is only once a month, nothing bunt cake. And if you haven't had a nothing bunt cake, you should actually just stop listening now and just get in your car and drive to wherever there is one. Because that is some sugar heaven right there.
Can I intervene though and say something about, I think really when you said the research, I do think they did a really good job at all of the relationships around an addictive system. I mean, they really did, like, if you thought about, like, I made a list literally of all the secrets people were keeping. Do you know what I mean? I mean, the sisters had secrets. The one had her with her boss. The husbands had secrets. People are having fears.
The son trying to
had a secret.
cover up. Yeah, the son, I think they did really well. Who's like,
we haven't talked about him at all. Yeah.
Right. And he was, that he was the person putting that out, which is about his own rage towards his mother, being unavailable and all that. I mean, there was so many really, I thought, cool representations of people either not dealing with their stuff or putting their stuff on someone else and the eating. I mean, this is like a total minor thing, but she was so thin and the husband made the comment, "Oh, you love when I say that." And then if you remember the scene where she's like by herself and she shoves the piece of bread in her mouth, remember that?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, like the eating stuff. And I don't know, just all the different pieces of it. I thought they did a really good job around these subtle forms of dysfunction. Anyways.
Yeah. The layers were good.
The layers
were good.
Yeah. Speaking of layers, I would like to take this moment to show the layer on my hat. I know I might just be looking like I'm wearing a normal everyday hat, but in fact, I am not. The PR team that represented and worked with Amazon Studios for The Better Sister reached out to me a couple weeks ago. I thought I was getting punked. And so I deleted the email. I was like, whatever. It's just somebody trying to get my credit card, like whatever. And then they emailed me again. And so then I was like, well, I'm going to go look up this person on LinkedIn. And even then I was like, they're not super active on LinkedIn. Is this someone pretending to be someone on LinkedIn? Like, I don't know. But then when I actually looked at the email and realized, oh, there's someone on the email from Amazon and there's someone on the email from Amazon Studios, like, oh, this is legit. Right. So I was like, oh, hi. Yeah. Thanks for reading the review. Here's my address, blah, blah, blah. So this is a hat a hat compliments of the team, the PR team, and Amazon Studios of The Better Sister. I will take off my earphones now so I can show you the subtle branding, which I think represents the Hamptons well, right? What do they call that?
Well,
Quiet
it's a
luxury,
summer
right?
look for you.
It really is. It's
like
definitely khaki. It's definitely khaki.
Oh, I thought it was yellow.
Is
I
it?
know, the lighting.
Is it made of linen? Is it linen?
It could be. It feels more canvas than linen.
Okay,
But let me show you the embroidery. Please hold. Oh no. Oh,
Let's see.
Oh, now you're gonna see my hat hair. Okay, this is the part where you should be listening to this podcast and not watching the video. But can we see?
Yeah.
Fire.
So, whoops, let's fix the situation. So, I have to tell you, as the older sister I only have one sister, I will be getting a lot of mileage out of this hat later this summer. When I'm with my sister and my parents. I'm actually leaving for a family reunion tomorrow that my sister is unable to attend. And I will also be rocking the hat just to be like, look who showed up.
You're the better sister there.
Yeah, no, I worked at a magazine. Yeah. I mean, my boobs are too big. I couldn't wear the white dress like Dr. Sarah talked about at the beginning. I really can't wear white in general because I spill on myself regularly, but I feel like the hat and my Pearl Jam t-shirt, like I've got a whole West Coast, East Coast vibe going. So thank you. Thank you to my friends at Amazon Studios and the PR team for sending me the hat. Super fun, super cool. And I just was like totally surprised that somebody reads the articles besides you guys and my mom. So yeah, great.
You write great articles. Was anybody in the show sober? Like, are any of those actors sober? Do we know?
Not that I immediately knew. I'm sure somebody is, but not that I know. Do we want to talk any more about the stepson? Do we want to talk any more about his character? Because he was kind of a main character as well.
Well, I looked at it as him, like, when she said, why did you steal the stuff? And he said, I thought you did it. I wanted to protect you. I mean, that whole thing to me was, the preoccupation with taking care of his mom because she's being abused by the dad. I mean, that whole dynamic. Meanwhile, stuffing all his own feelings.
Right.
Say that again.
We're really good at reviews, you guys. We're so good at reviews because we'll
just tell you what it's about.
Yeah, you don't even have to watch
the entire thing. We're going to unpack it.
We should have talked about this beforehand. I literally wanted to just say what happened at the end, but
should we just say what's the most shocking moment of the show so that, we can do a few more spoiler alerts?
Well, one of my things that I think is shocking, but done really well, and I hadn't seen, maybe it's because I don't watch a lot of crime drama, but the scene where she finds him, and again, that the juxtaposition of that white dress and the blood,
right?
And it just getting I think they just did that really well. So it was disturbing, but not
very
too gory, or
Yes.
it didn't seem unreal.
I mean, it wasn't as campy as the blood scene at the end of Substance with Demi Moore, to be clear.
Yeah.
That I actually had to turn that off and take a minute. So it didn't go there. I think it was well done, but it was a lot of blood. It was a lot of blood, which then made me wonder how many takes did they do and how many of those white dresses did they have? These are the
Probably
things I
a few.
think about. Yeah, these are the things I think about.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm curious. I've already given a Sobees score to the show on the site, but I'd be interested to hear what each of you think and then see if I need to adjust the score in any way. So I'll ask each of you on a scale of 1 to 5 Sobees, which is the Sober Curator rating system. We have a whole system for it. Dr. Sarah, 1 to 5. How many B's are you handing out?
I think a 5, and I'll tell you why. I thought the acting was really good with the two sisters. I mean, those two women I thought were really great. Also, I think I never knew really who done it. I mean, to say, I really didn't. And that I thought, they really played up all these different people. You really thought, it was a bunch of different people. And I was really surprised at the end, to be honest with you. So, and I watch a lot of those shows, you know, and I really couldn't figure it out. So I think they did a really great job. And a lot of the character development with all the different pieces, I really thought it was good. I loved it.
All right.
Yeah.
Megan, 1 to 5.
I was going to say 4, but yeah.
I gave it a 4 as well. My review has it as a 4. Yeah.
Yep.
And that's always, that's because, I mean, I do think that substance use disorder was part of the leading story plot for sure. And we do a lot of ratings where, let's be honest, we're kind of stretching to like have the content on our site. I only say this because I got called out for doing a review on the latest Deadpool and Wolverine that came out last summer. And Justin was like, no, Alysse, no, that shouldn't be on the site. I'm like, Wolverine's an alcoholic. It absolutely can be on the site. So we do sometimes stretch it, but I feel like in this case, I felt like it was a solid 4. I could be talked into a 4.5. I don't know that I could be talked into a 5 because I feel like a 5 is like, if we hand out too many 5s, the 5s don't mean anything. So that's where I came in. T-Bouge, what about you?
I'm going to give it a 4.5 because I really did like the character development because you could kind of it changed how you felt about them throughout the whole show. And you kind of go back and forth, right?
Yes.
With how much you liked one sister versus the other sister. And so I really enjoyed that. And I did feel like it kept you wanting to know the next part, which that's a good series in my eyes, is that you end the episode and you cannot wait to watch the next one because something so big happens that you're like, oh my God, I have to watch the next episode. That is a good show. So yeah, 4.5.
Okay. Right. Amy?
I think the same thing, 4.5. And what I loved mostly about it was I felt like the layers that they kept putting on were so interesting. It showed to me that addiction and recovery is multifaceted. And I thought that was pretty good because sometimes you get these like 2-dimensional addiction. Not that it was an addiction series per se, but when they talk about addiction, it's kind of like, oh yeah, there's the token alcoholic brother or whatever it is. And so I liked that this was more unpacked than that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I could be talked into a 4.5 potentially. So listeners, if you feel strongly that this should be a 4.5 or even a 5, feel free to email us at thesobercurator@gmail.com, slide in our DMs like it's 2012. We're always here for that. And ladies, let's talk about what we're going to be watching next, because I am apparently obsessed with all shows that take place in basically the Hamptons or the Berkshires or whatever this summer. Like, I guess I'm just here for that. And We Were Liars, which is also another Amazon Studios. I just watched all 8 episodes. And then as soon as it was over, I started again from the beginning immediately. So all I'm saying is that's what we're going to be talking about next. So for our listeners at home, we sure hope you're watching along with us, because then by the time these episodes air, we won't ruin it all for you. Right?
Right.
All right. Well, I didn't, normally we like to end these episodes with a chotchke, because we like to plug our new game show, the Chotchke Showdown. I didn't grab one in preparation today because I was really so excited to talk about the white dress. T-Bouge, do you have one you want to pull in, or I thought my hat kind of counted.
I think your hat did it. And I think that if people want to see your tchotchkes, they should step up and challenge you in the showdown. So we may not do as many tchotchkes at the end of an episode because we're saving them for the best time. And eventually we're going to be allowing an audience. So stay tuned for that, because 2 of our judges are right here, Megan and Amy.
Let's just be clear. Amy is a very generous judge.
She is. She's only because she can't do math.
Math isn't my thing.
True.
Yeah.
Math is not her thing.
Well, and this isn't because you're concerned I might run out of tchotchkes, right? That's not a concern.
Absolutely not. I just think it's better having a big story behind it. That's all.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
Well, that is all the time we have today. Hopefully you love the sober pop culture that we're throwing down. You can go to the Sober Curator and check out both the Mindful Binge section and the movie section. And when you go to those landing pages, you actually get to let your fingers go for a scroll and your eyes get to feast over all the show or movie posters. You can immediately see our score. And then when you click on the poster, it will take you to the article. It will take you to the review. It will take you to the trailer video. It will take you to merchandise. If we found merchandise, it'll take you to all kinds of little surprises. It's a super fun way to engage with the content on the show.
It's like an Alice in Wonder rabbit hole.
Pretty much. Except we're going to call it an Alysse in Wonderland hole. You see what I did there?
No,
You see what I did there? I do have an Alice in Wonderland costume for those of you that are not surprised by that at all. Which I feel like maybe that's a good outfit for a future tchotchke throwdown. Like I feel like, you know, I feel like that
Alice
might
in Wonderland tchotchke
have to happen. All right. Well, if you want to know more about the Sober Curator and why we do what we do, you can head over to the Sober Curator. You can check out our About page if you want to become one of us. The membership is free, but the participation is next level cocoa crazy. So we would love to have you. And that's all the time we have today. Thanks for tuning in and listening all the way to the very end. As we like to say at the Sober Curator, getting sober matters, staying sober matters more. Thanks for tuning in. This is Alysse Bryson. And until next time, keep it real, keep it fun, and keep it sober. Thanks for tuning in because let's be real, we're way more fun than your ex's drunk texts.
If you laughed, learned, or just need more of our voices in your life, honestly, I mean, who wouldn't? Hit that subscribe button, leave us a review, and send this episode to your sober or your I swear I'm only drinking on the weekends besties.
And if you have a story, feedback, or hey, maybe you just want to slide into our DMs like it's 2012, well, you know we're here for it. Find more curated magic at thesobercurator.com. And remember, getting sober matters, staying sober matters more. Until next time, keep it real, keep it fun, and keep it sober.